How's it going, everyone? Thanks for stopping by the channel. It's Moodog from Moodog's Frugal RCs and more. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Brand new vehicle for my channel today, guys. This is a 1/12 scale four-wheel drive vehicle by Haiboxing, or HBX. This is the 12891 or the Dune Thunder. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what comes inside the box when you buy this thing. First of all, you're getting the manual, and I'm going to keep this kind of short, guys. I've had a couple of complaints about going over the manual in too much depth, but this is going to basically be kind of a half-size manual, like a couple other manufacturers' vehicles that I have had on my channel. It's going to give you all the basic information to get the car going. No color pictures in here, but the Chinese to English translation looks pretty good. Interesting artwork on the back there. One thing I'm noticing on this, guys, is a lack of exploded view drawings, and I don't see a parts list in here. Now, their parts are available for this vehicle. I just am not sure why I don't see any parts list or exploded view in here. So that looks pretty good all in all, I would say. A little addendum in there as well. They made some improvements to this vehicle already in a new power switch on there. I guess the one they were using prior to the upgrade was causing some issues with malfunctions when it got gritty or dirty. There's other basic information on here on how to charge the battery, how to install them, that type of thing. Here we have how to install the wing on the Dune Thunder. This vehicle did not have the rear spoiler that you can see in the background there installed, so there's just basic information on how to do that on that sheet right there. Now this is going to come with a charger for the batteries, and I'll show you those batteries in just a second, but this is a basic two-position charger for the 18650 size batteries. The cord that comes with it is going to have a Western plug on it, so no worries about using any kind of adapters. And this is going to be a 5 volt 1000 milliamp charger here. So the output on here is going to it's going to require about 2.5 or 3 hours to charge these two cells with this charger here. So the batteries, again, they're 18650. These are 3.7 volt. Sorry about that. 3.7 volt cells here. 1500 milliamp per hour times 2 is going to give you 7.4 volts at 3000 milliamps per hour. So you're going to get roughly about 20 or so minutes of drive time with this vehicle. This is going to come with 4 extra body clips here, guys, and we'll go ahead and set these aside. I know there's 5 here. I have one sitting here from another car, or it might be from this car actually too, because these are removed already. The screwdriver is included here, guys, too, so it's going to come with a little Phillips screwdriver to install the wing on the back there. Attached to the underside of the car, to the chassis, are these two pieces of information here telling you about the new switch and how to power it up by holding it down for 1 to 2 seconds. And giving you some more information about removing the battery tabs that are installed in the side carriers for the battery, and making sure that the batteries are fully charged before you use this thing. The remote on this, guys, is going to be a pretty basic looking affair here. Nothing really too earth-shatteringly cool about this one. You have limited adjustability on here. You do have adjustability for your steering trim and your throttle trim. Also, you can reverse the steering on here. Very plasticky kind of feeling remote, but I think it's going to get the job done just fine. I can say that. No foam on the steering wheel, but good, decent enough return spring. The trigger on here feels pretty good as well, guys. It doesn't feel ratchety or crispy or anything like that. It feels pretty good. There is an auxiliary button on here, but it's not going to do anything on this car. There is another variant of this vehicle, I think called the Thruster, that has a 2-speed transmission, and that's what that auxiliary button would be for. So pretty much nice feeling. It is kind of plasticky, though, I will say that. This is going to require you supply your own batteries, and it's going to be 2 AA's that get installed right on the bottom here. Alright, guys, pretty cool looking car on here. I really like the yellow and the black motif on here. This one is going to have 6 working LEDs. You have the 2 headlights and then the 4 up on top there, all with the black and yellow motif. The side here is you see the Dune Thunder sticker on here with attack, and then right next to that one is the sticker right here. And I'll zoom in on this so you guys can get a load of this. It's pretty funny. I think it says get on, sit down, shut up, and hang on. I saw that and I had to chuckle. I thought that was kind of cool. So that's a keeper for sure. And then some other basic stickers on here actually add to the very competitive look of this vehicle. The wing on the back, again, guys, you have to install yourselves, and it seems to be pretty sturdy. The tires on this one, guys, are going to be decent compound rubber, kind of a medium soft rubber on here, but a very aggressive tread pattern. So I think this car is going to hook up quite well. The tires are actually fully glued to the rims, which they claim that these rims are plated. I think they're probably just painted. They look like just silver, kind of a matte finish silver paint. These are being held on with screws, but there are upgrades available for the dog bones on this vehicle that will allow you to use the 3 or 4 millimeter locking hex nuts on here. So you don't have to worry about that if you plan on doing the upgrades on here. The vehicle has oil shocks, so you're getting a decent suspension on this. I noticed on the front here it's not really rebounding how I'd like it to. I'm probably going to have to take a look at that and see if there's a way I can actually either add more oil or change the shock position on the bottom A-arm there. I think there is some adjustability to that shock absorber. Let's go ahead and pull the body off here now, guys, and take a look at the Lexan. This is a pretty nice Lexan body on here, guys. We've already looked at the paint. Paint looks pretty cool. You can see on the bottom here all the electronics, all the wiring for the light system is in and taped down. I do plan on doing the Gorilla Tape on here to some extent. This is a basher and it will be used for that purpose. These are all going to be hot glued in, and then the two up in front here look like they're actually screwed in with these little nylon nuts on here. And then we have our little plug on here, kind of a mini, kind of almost like a tiny whoop sort of a plug on there to go into the ESC. But decent quality Lexan on here, guys. Doesn't feel too flimsy. It's got a lot of resiliency about it, but it doesn't feel thin or overly thin or really cheap at all. So they did a nice job on this. I like the stickers on there. I like the color of that. So I'll go ahead and set that aside for now and take a look at the vehicle. Now, as mentioned before, this does have oil shocks on it. There is no adjustability on these shocks, though, guys. If we can see, there is kind of looks like caps up on top here, but there is no threading underneath that. So it's pretty much what you get is what you get. I think the adjustability for the rebound is going to come in different positions up front here for your shock absorber. So you have one going to the outer and one coming to the inner. I'm probably going to end up taking these shocks off and putting them towards the inner. I might take these springs off and stretch them just ever so slightly to see if I can get a little bit better rebound on those. But oil shocks nonetheless, I think that's kind of cool. The chassis itself is very familiar to me. I've seen a couple other vehicles, actually two that I have here in the research kitchen, are set up pretty much the same way. Now, I think HBX was a pioneer or one of the first to actually offer this mid-mounted motor here in the rear, and the dual 18650 lithium-ion cells. I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that HBX was one of the pioneers to offer this design. This is going to have a 5-wire servo in it, but the actual servo arm here is going to be adjustable. You can see there are threads, and that is metal, and there are some threads on there, so you can adjust the throw, the length of the throw on there. I like that. Same thing with the front steering linkage here. You can actually adjust the steering linkage as well to get that toe in set correctly. Now, if you look at the front of the vehicle, we can see that we have adjustable body mounts here. And this will go farther down. It's not going to go any higher. I don't think there's going to leave room for a whole lot of adjustment here because the posts on the back here are pretty much really short, and there really doesn't look like there's much adjustability either up or down. So nice looking package here, guys. Nicely put together. Everything is clean. There's nothing that looks ugly or out of place. We have a ESC receiver combo here with 2 ports on it. You can see 2 separate ports here for lighting. One is going to be taken up by the existing lighting, and you could actually, in essence, mount yourself some reverse lighting or some red lights in the back, or underneath the effects lightings, however you want it to do it. That port is there for you to use. Getting to the power of this and how this thing powers up, we can see the 18650 battery gets installed on the side here. That's pretty much it for this car, guys. There really isn't a whole lot more to tell you about. Everything seems to be built pretty nicely. The construction on here is pretty good. A little bit of a question as to the longevity or durability of plastic dog bones. Now, these are going to be CVDs in the front here. You can see that's kind of a universal joint looking coupling in the center here where it goes through the hub carrier. These are ball bearings on all the hubs, and there's ball bearings in the drive gear as well. There is metal gears in the differentials on this as well, so that kind of adds to the value of this vehicle. In the rear we have just the dog bones, and those are going to be plastic, along with all those are metal. So the outdrive cups on the differentials look to be metal on here, and this all plastic on the CVDs, but the outdrives on those are plastic on here. So metal on the differentials and plastic on the outdrives as far as on the rear of this vehicle. That's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'm actually going to be going through this a little bit and taking a look and seeing if it needs any grease in the diffs. But before we go, I'm going to go ahead and put the body back on, show you the lights lit up on here. We'll turn the power on and get this thing powered up, and I'll show you just a couple squeezes of the trigger to get you to give you a little taste of how this thing runs. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and show you this too right away so we can kind of see how this all takes place here. I'm going to try to get that to focus a little bit better. Now you're going to watch the orientation of this plug. You don't want to put it in backwards because you'll bend the pins inside these little receptacles on the ESC, and you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the orientation of the plug and go ahead and plug into either which one. It really doesn't matter which one you're plugging it into. They both have the same voltage. They're both there for essentially the same reason. Be pretty responsive there. Now, there is a throttle trim on here as well. So throttle, obviously that's throttle trim all the way up. We don't want that. And that'll actually get the car moving. So setting your throttle trim would be if your car was moving forward on its own like it is right now. You would back it off until you hear the motor stop, and then you'd be good to go as far as with using the vehicle. So let's go ahead and let me get my little box here, and I'll set this up, prop it up, and we'll go ahead and start this motor up on here and just listen to it a little bit and see if it's loud or what the deal is. But let's go ahead and give this a little juice. Pretty quiet, guys. It really is pretty quiet. I'm pretty impressed with that. A lot of times you get these brush motor vehicles and they're clanking and making all kinds of weird noises. This one seems to be pretty quiet. Let's go ahead and get that rolling again. Pretty impressive, pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to getting this thing out and doing some driving with it. The weather's been kind of atrocious here lately. It's like 3 degrees above zero right now. We had negative temperatures earlier today, and I don't really want to take the risk of taking this thing out and smashing it. It will crack like glass out here in these temperatures. So that's pretty much it for the video, though, guys. I think this is going to be a nice one to get out there and bash with. Look forward to an urban bash coming up. Like I said, as soon as the weather breaks on here, we'll be getting this out and doing some cool bash videos with it. Also plan on doing a upgrade on this one as well. A little bit farther down the line, I'm planning on putting a brushless system in this one. I've seen it done on a couple channels on YouTube, and I figured I would throw my hat in the ring as well and see what kind of juice I can get out of this thing. I think it's set up right now pretty good for that, with the metal diffs and some other metal parts on here that I think would add to its durability. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, I really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Also, smash that bell so you get all my content as soon as I upload it. That's pretty much it. We'll see y'all in the next one. God bless the Republic.